much in the East as well. So the show of anger sometimes, most of the time I think, makes the people you're angry at, and they see you, they become fearful. They get scared of you because you're angry. This is a very, very, very bad reaction to the angry man, to be afraid of him. The moment you're afraid of him, he starts to take pleasure in your fear. Now he discovers that by the anger, he can control you. You can't do anything about it. Now he finds a new pleasure of bugging and bullying the people. That's what the bullying in the school is. They bully the person starts to fear, and they enjoy the fear, because fear brings control of another person. This is very, very hard to get rid of, because the person has enjoyed to make other people to suffer and enjoy of their suffering. This is a psychotic thing. How to fix this, which is absolutely a social problem. It's not a psychological problem at all. This man has just learned to be jumpy over the slightest things that people do, and he becomes, angry, and he sees that people are afraid of him. This kind of a person has to be dealt with very seriously in the physical manner. Just to take him and handcuff him and put him in jail does not. If he falls, let's say, I'm not recommending you, but if he falls in the hand of another angry man, it showed anger too, and then he's a stronger, comes essentially beat the hell out of him, severely hit him, really, beat him as bad as you can, then he will learn the lesson that feeding on people's fear by violence, that is the consequence. The consequence has to be seriously dire to get rid of this type of violence. Here they pamper them by taking them to jail and this and that. These guys, they have no problem with that. To them, it's like a hangover after drinking. They say, sure, if you drink, then tomorrow you can't get up and whatnot. So I got angry, I broke the glass, I beat some people up. Cops, they came in, they arrested me and put me in jail. Tomorrow morning I'm out and I'm going to go enjoy myself again with bullying. This kind of a attitude is satanic. The person who likes to enjoy the fear of the people by show of anger and then cause violence has to be dealt with. They say in Saudi Arabia, if you steal something, they cut your hand. I would go as far as to say cut the hand of a person who likes the anger to cause people to fear him and creates violence. This is clearly brutality, transgression, cruelty, tyranny. Baha'u'llah says the best for this type of person is to be always sleeping, because when the moment he gets up, he wants to do this. And that's Baha'i faith, is full of stories of the people like Hossein Khan Ajudan Bashi, an absolute beast that killed the 12 years old Ruhullah. Those type of people have to be dealt with by the public, not by the individual. Or else, if as an individual we decide to go and punish one person, the negative impact of the act, it falls on our shoulder and we are going to feel guilty and bad. People have to be taken through the system, condemned, but don't pamper them by taking them to jail. Tell them this is the hand that you used to beat that person. This hand is going to get cut off next time. Cut it. Don't let him to show anger to people. And do that. So the solution really is not as some of the psychologists, they're trying to say, oh, he's an angry man, therefore he's sick, you know. We have to, what kind of a sick? He's willingly drinking or doing drug, and as a result he's becoming angry, and now he's violent. The anger turned into violence. Okay, so I'm looking at my notes. Anyways, anger seems to be like a virus that comes into us, and we have to have some antivirus. Depression is the other side of the anger, which is not an explosion, it's an implosion, and the person, you know, goes inside. And usually weak people, when they deal, let's say, with an angry person, and they can show anger towards the same angry person or towards a powerful person that makes them to do something, and they become cornered and they cannot do anything about it. They can't think themselves out of the way. So in that case, they become depressed. Hope is the solution for the depression. Hope is very important. Because depression doesn't happen all of a sudden like a disease and a sickness into people. First, you know, the person gradually loses the faculty of thinking his way out. Hoping is very good. Hope means always have a plan on a back burner that, okay, I'm going to do this instead, I'm going to do that in this. You're not going to get cornered. Then you can get out of the depression. But having hope, which most of us do one way or other, we can get out of it. But depression, it has this material cause, because I say in the West, a lot of people when they become older, 50s, you know, 60s, they're all like brooding and they're not any happy. It just seems that every time that they were depressed, they used some material way to get out. You know, they broke in that business, they did something else. That job went down, they learned to do another job. So, material way to get out of depression, you run out of the material. Because when you're 50 and 60 and you look at your face and you look at your energy, you basically are not able to perform your instinctive desires, such as sex. You can't even eat well. And these things are not good. As a result, you know, you have this depression. And your solution is that to feel younger. Well, I'm sorry, you can't. So you're going to have to feel more energetic. You can waste your time 10 hours to feel energy, and then for the 2 hours that you have to do, that sounds to me like a waste of time. Because there's no material way. You have to understand there is a spiritual realm and a spiritual world, and we can get out. There's no problem to be 50 and 60. Be happy. It's just that you're on the way to some city and some traveling. You all enjoyed traveling, forgot that you have a destination, and now as you're getting close to the destination, you're afraid of, because you don't know where you're going. So study the Baha'i faith. The person that is depressed, this is the prescriptions of Baha'u'llah. If you feel depressed, go study the Baha'i faith. This is prescription, I guarantee it. If it didn't work, come over my grave and spit on my grave. Laugh at me. You study the Baha'i faith, not too deep. Just read the history of the Baha'i faith. And then you know how much of a pressure and persecutions have been fallen over the people who were talking about love and unity and humanity. That makes you to feel a little bit, hey, you're not the only one. There are a lot of people that are suffering. But that doesn't necessarily help you to find out there are worse people than you. That is not the solution to the depression. You know, so I'm poor, but there are people that are poorer than me. So that won't help me to be feeling rich. You study the Baha'i faith, start from history, learn some of the principles. Usually in one book is good enough. A lot of introduction to it. Then immediately you start to teach it. To teach to others. Tell them, hey, I studied this Baha'i faith. There's a pamphlet. Go buy a pamphlet and just hand it to people. And carry on discussions. These discussions are good, number one, because it is not like anything that you have done. Because it is different, it is helpful. There are a lot of things that different you can do, but they do not become attractive. For example, if you say, I've never done painting, I'm going to go do painting. Painting is not going to help you at age 50 and 60 to feel better. Or change of art or this or that. No. But when you teach somebody about Baha'i faith, which is about goodness, you know, using the prescription of Baha'u'llah, a kind of a vigor, a kind of a power it generates, as he becomes better, it immediately gives it to you. And when you continue doing that for about a month, I can guarantee you, you'll say goodbye to depression forever. Forever. All of a sudden you discover something